Hello everyone, welcome back to the table. I've decided to redo this setup because I don't think I did the last one quite correctly. So this is the redo. Hopefully I'll get it right this time. I actually left out a couple important steps, and after I rewatched the video, I said, nah, that's not right. So here we go. We're going to do, again, Dungeon Crusade, and this is the setup for that first scenario. That first scenario is Into the Depths, Scenario 1, Defending the Village of Witherbrook. So that's where we're going to start going over what I did. Now, this is kind of what the table looks like after you're done. And this is what your village and UI board and all the monsters, other cards that you might need, kind of what that looks like. So the first thing you want to do is get your hero cards. That's these guys down here. You want all of them. You'll get the miniatures. That's the miniatures here. This is Melhiliac. You want to get their starting weapons and these two clips for each card. That the next thing you want to do is prepare their special ability deck. Each character has 3 special abilities, and they level 1, 2, and 3. They all start with counterattack, which is free. Then you take the other 9 cards. Like I say, there's 3 special abilities, levels 1, 2, and 3, a card for each one. So you have 9 cards. You're going to shuffle those up, draw the bottom card. That is the special ability that particular hero will not be able to use. So you find the other 2 matching cards, pull it out, pull those 3 cards out, and then the other 6 cards is what you're going to have left over for that particular. And you do that for each hero. Next, you're going to choose the scenario. We are doing scenario 1, Into the Depths, as I stated earlier. After that, you're going to select the dungeon board. In this case, that's going to be the Ancient Runes dungeon board. And you'll set that all up. It's fairly easy to follow. You'll have the footpaths that will match up. You can see the black borders, kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, if you will, but there's only 6 pieces, so that should be pretty easy. But your black borders will define the corners, and then you just have these 2 center ones, and all you have to do is match up the feet. Goes pretty easily, fairly. Just make sure you get the correct one. That's when I first set this up, I was way into this process and realized I had started with the wrong dungeon board, so I had to break it all down and start all over. So that is again, get the correct dungeon board, set up the dungeon board, and then you'll want to choose your difficulty level. In choosing your difficulty level, there's 3 ways recommended to do that. You can choose from either one. Basically, what that will affect are these items that have the dice on them. It'll affect what items, how many of each you put in the Bazaar, what is put in the blacksmith inventory, your terror levels, raid difficulty, spawn, minion population, guardians per quest. So it affects all those. So the way to do that, you can just choose one. Choose novice, easy, normal, hard, expert, or master. Another level is custom. You can go through each one of the items and choose whichever one you wish. You could have easy village terror and normal raid difficulty, expert spawn track. So you can do that. And thirdly, you can just go random. Just roll a 1d6 for each one and take the result of that. And that's what you have. So those are the three ways to choose your difficulty. Next, you want to put that dungeon, like I say, put the dungeon board on the table. I did it a little differently as far as the doors. The next step is taking all the doors, putting them on a black base, and setting a door on each opening to each chamber. I used different colored bases. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but I thought it might help me. What I did was I chose green doors for those quests that are green, and gold doors. There was only 4 gold doors or yellow doors, so I chose those for the yellow, and then I put red doors on those things that are red. So it may or may not work for you. I mean, say go by the book. All the doors are on black unless you're told otherwise in a quest. Next, you're going to place the village board on the table. That is this board. And you're going to place the dungeon UI board. That's this board. Place that below it. Then you're going to build your mining deck. You're going to take all of your mining cards. Inside that deck, there are 8 cards that state this mining site is exhausted. So you're going to take those 8 out of the stack of mining cards. And then you're going to divide that deck into 32 cards into 4 stacks. So basically you deal out 32 cards 4 times. You're going to take 2 of those exhausted mining site cards, shuffle them into each of the 4 stacks. So you'll end up having 4 stacks, basically of 34 cards, and then you're going to place those A, B, C, D for the mining. After that, you're going to take the mining tokens, there are 8 of those, and you're going to put them on the board for the mining sites with the unexplored side up. Each board will have mining sites that look like this right here. That's where you're going to take unexplored side up and place that mining token on each of the spaces. And there should be 8 of them. If there's not, then whatever you have left over goes back in the box. Next, you're going to take the Elder Globe red token and place it by each quest table. There are 3 quest tables, and you'll place an Elder Globe underneath each quest table on the red side. You flip those over when you've completed each of the 3 quests inside a level. Next thing you're going to do is take the blessing deck. These cards that say blessing on them, I don't remember exactly how many there are, but looks to be 30 or so. And then you're going to place those on the village. There's a spot for them on the village board. Next is the Celebration Day gift. You're going to shuffle those cards, and then you're going to place those onto the Dungeon AI board. There's a place there specifically for those. That's where they go. Next is the secret room. Take your secret room deck, shuffle that all up, and then just place them somewhere convenient where you can reach them. I just placed mine underneath the Dungeon AI board. Just depends on I guess how big your table is. Mine's almost not big enough to handle this, but I've seen some other folks with smaller tables making it work, so that's how that goes. Okay, next, you want to take your Power Gem deck, shuffle that all up. There's a pretty good stack of them. These are the gems you can put in certain artifacts, things you find, weapons that have an extra little globe there for you to place a power gem. Once you've mined some things, you can have Albus run them back, or you can do it while you're in Celebration Day to the blacksmith, and he'll craft you up a power gem. This is another stack I just placed underneath the Dungeon AI board. Next, you want to take those hero ability decks, if you haven't already done so, that you've sorted out, and place them there next to the Academy. The next thing you want to do is place your miniatures on the siege tile of the dungeon. And this particular dungeon, this is the siege tile, and there's a little white, probably doesn't show up, there's a little white square or border surrounding 6 squares for your heroes to go in. Now this is if you're starting the dungeon. If you've come from the Avalon Adventure board game, then you can place your standees there on the village map, because that's where you're going to start. You're able to buy equipment, potions, whatever it is you think, healing. You can go to the pub, go to the temple. There's just whatever you can do in the village, except for the House of Chance games. If you come from the Avalon Adventure board game, or even starting your first dungeon, you don't go to the House of Chance. The villagers think that is in poor taste. You want to place your hero cards on the bottom of the dungeon board so you can have ready access to them. There's obviously some things off camera here, like their weapons and their counterattack cards, whatever else. This is probably, of course, this is okay to start up, but once you start adding things, I think you're going to have to spread out in probably 2 levels of 3. So would be my suggestion, unless you can just spread them out across the longer table, which I can't quite do that because of all the other equipment I've got. So that would be the next step. Placing, once you've got you should have your hero cards, and then have their weapon, have their counterattack card, have these. If you're just starting the dungeon, then you want to be sure that each marker is on the circle part where they start. Mine have gone through the Avalon Adventure board game and suffered a little damage here and there. So that's why they're not quite all the way up to full health. Next up, you will want to get all your treasure chest cards together, shuffle those all up, and then you will place them on the Dungeon UI board. The spot right there for your treasure chest cards. After that, you want to take the treasure chest tokens. I believe there's 10 of them. You're going to place one treasure chest token on each symbol on the dungeon board. Are you just going to look on your map, and each time you find a treasure chest symbol, put a treasure chest token on it. Now like I say, I believe there were 10 of them. So you find a spot wherever they happen to be on the map and place a treasure chest. You see, this is where we just placed, and they're scattered around different places on the map. There's one there. There's one there. Like I say, you just have to find them. That is one of the things that takes a little bit of time, especially when your first play of this is locating all the different chambers, all the different spaces that require something to be put on them. Next thing you'll want to do is get your 3 decks of minions, level 1, level 2, level 3. Shuffle each one separately, all your level 1 shuffled up, then all your level 2, shuffle them up, and then all of your level 3s, shuffle those up, and then you will place those on, well, basically on your table, to start building your monster deck. So you can see the level 1, level 2, level 3 minions. That's your first thing. Next, you'll want to do the exact same thing with your champion decks. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Each one to its own, and you'll have 4 different stacks of champion cards. And then you place those right there above your minions. That's the second step of your creating your monster deck. After that, you're going to do the exact same thing with your guardians, levels 1 through 4. These are the big cards. And you'll do the same thing, shuffle them up each level, and then place those 4 decks, stacks of decks there on above your champion cards. That will complete your creation of your monster decks. The next step, you're going to take your encounter cards, look through. You have to go through the stack. There'll be 10 of these interlude cards. You want to remove those. You're going to take the rest of the encounter deck, shuffle it all up, and then you're going to deal out 30 cards, 30 encounter cards. And then you're going to take 9 of these interlude cards and then shuffle those into the 30. So you have now a deck of 39, and then your top card is going to be that 10th interlude. So you have a deck of 40 cards, and then you place those on the Dungeon AI board. Not quite in the picture, but just below the treasure chest deck is the encounter deck. And that, let's see. Now, got one more step in the basic setup, which is that's all we've been doing so far, just the basic. There's a whole nother step of advanced setup next. Okay, this next step is optional, at least it may be optional throughout all of them, but I'm pretty sure it is, at least in this one. Not sure. Anyway, the next step is the trap. There's the trap token, and you take a trap token and place one of those tokens on each trap space icon on your dungeon board. And this is what the trap icon looks like. So you look for these on your dungeon boards, and you will place a trap on top of it with that trap side up. And it may be a trap, it may not be a trap. So that concludes the basic setup. Our next step will be the advanced setup to finish things up. Okay, the next step is going to be to draw a Tavern task card. Not a very big deck, 6, 8, something like that. Not very many of them, but it kind of gives you, one more thing to do while you're going through your dungeon. You may, like I say, each one's different. So, but usually they'll give you something good. I haven't even looked at all of them yet. I did look at this one. That's the one I'll be having. So we'll see if I can do that. I may be able to do it, may not be able to do it. I don't know. But that is your first step of the advanced setup procedure. And then your next step is going to be to get the 3 tokens for each of level 1, level 2, level 3. You've got a main quest, a side quest, and kill the Guardians quest in each of the 3 levels. That is the next step. Just place them on the dungeon UI board. Okay, after that you'll want to look at your scenario card and look at the quest. There are level 1, level 2, level 3 quests. Each one has 3 quests per level. So the next thing is to set up those main quests on the dungeon board. There's going to be 3 of them. You can see here the first level 1 here is the Baron's Wine. Level 2 is a Mother's Request. And level 3 is Tools of the Trade. You're going to go through your quest cards and find each card and see what's required. Each one will have an objective. There's a kind of a flavor text on the front of the card, and then you see this is the green quest, Baron's Wine, and just go through the setup procedures. And this particular one, place 3 doors with red bases in each chamber of the ancient depths. So like I said, I use green doors because that tells me this is a green quest, but if you want to go with that, then do the red ones. You take 3 level 1 monster tokens, 1 empty chamber token, and shuffle. Place 1 token within each chamber of the ancient depths. Okay, so that you can see here has already been set up. On the I put green doors on here. That would say, it just tells me that it's a green quest. But you could put red if you wanted to. And then each one of those, let's say you take 3 level 1 monster tokens, an empty chamber token, and shuffle. Place 1 token within each chamber of the ancient depth. So there's 1 token there. And so you never know for sure what you come out, because there's three spots to put a token, and you're choosing from 4. So you may have 3 level 1 monsters, or you may have 2 level 1 monsters in an empty chamber. You never know which one's going to be there. Next part of that quest is take 2 wine bottle tokens and a blank quest token, and shuffle. Place 1 token within each chamber of the ancient depths. And that's those three you see there. So there are not an extra one there. So you do that for each quest. You're going to have 3 main quests and 3 side quests. But the first thing you're going to do is set up the main quest. So that's going to populate certain chambers. Like I say, you can see these chambers are populated by a quest. Well, that shouldn't be there. You can, by my setup, you can kind of tell there's some more green doors, so that means those were populated by a quest. All these different colored doors mean that is one of the quests. All the red ones look like up in this corner here, but like I say, that's the way I did it. And it may not work out for me, because I may, depending on how many enemies, bad guys I have to fight, I may run out of bases for them. I still have quite a few red and blue and green, which is the colors they use. But we'll see as we get playing it. Just not sure what's going to happen. So that is the set up the main quest on the dungeon board. The next thing you're going to do is set up your side quest on the dungeon board. So as you can see in this particular scenario, the first side quest is Chambers of the Corrupt. So you go look at that card and you see what the setup says. 4 level 1 monster tokens, an empty chamber token. Place 1 token within each chamber of the tomb of St. Viticus, north and south. So that's what you're going to do. And you're going to have, again, you're going to have 3 side quests. Chambers of the Corrupt, the Evil Beneath, and then Crusaders of the Light. And you'll go, like I say, go back to your dungeon board, and you're going to place whatever is required. Excuse me, whatever is required on the dungeon board from the 3 different side quests. So you set up your main quest, you set up the side quest. The kill the dungeon quest, just it says set up kill the guardian quest on the dungeon board. Those just kind of come up as you have a guardian appear, and each level has a kill the guardian quest. So you're going to have to kill the guardian in each quest before you can get to the celebration day, especially after quest 1 and 2. Okay, your next step is to seed the dungeon. In each scenario, you'll find basically in the bottom left-hand corner of the page is the seeding that you're going to have. In this one, it's you see 2 level 1 monsters, 6 level 2s, 3 empty chambers, a level 3, a level 4, 2 mystery chambers, and then 2 secret areas. So you're going to take all those items, place them in a bag, or a cup, whatever your preferred method is of blind drawing. And then you're going to seed the board. So you're going to start here in the lower left-hand corner. And if a chamber has nothing in it, obviously these would, you can see the different colored doors. These would have already been seeded. Well, they would have had something in there from one of the quests, one of the main quests or one of the side quests. So you go to the next one. Well, these also have something in them. So you go to the next one. Well, you can see here the first thing that come up was a crate. Now crates are a little bit different because they can't be the only thing. So if you draw a crate and put it in an empty chamber space, then you have to draw another one. If it's a crate, you set it aside. You keep drawing until you come up with one of those other items to place beside it. Because you can't have a crate by itself. You cannot have two crates. And you won't, that's the only thing you'll have in a chamber in the seeding process. You'll just have one item unless it's a crate, then you'll have two. Okay, well, I've not had that happen before. I'm not even sure how that occurred, but because I really, unless I pushed the wrong button, I wasn't technically recording. So anyway, we're going to continue with our seeding process. Like I say, you go through each chamber that's empty, and you're going to put like this one here, come up, the first thing was a monster. So you go over here, well, these guys have already had something in it. So you come here, there's something else. So you go through up, down, over and up, over and down, over and up, over and down. You'll end up over here. You just go, you grab whatever you had in your seeding bundle. You just keep drawing from the container. You may or may not use all of them, or you may have more chambers left after you're done. I did not. I had something come up somewhere along the way in every chamber. And if you do, then what you basically have to end up doing is going backwards. You go back and continue the process. That is the seeding procedure, seeding the dungeon. Okay, your next thing to do is put all the items in the bazaar, and that again is going to depend on the difficulty level you chose. You're playing on novice. You have 8 of each juice and 10 torches. So you take those items, and then you will place them here in the bazaar areas. There's a place available for each of the 4 items. After that, you're going to do the cards in the blacksmith area on the village board. So you're going to get all of your loot cards and separate by the color of their globe. Those are silver, so those are common. You'll have white. So you're going to have basically 5 different sets. Well, 6 if you count the trash. And you also want to take out the red ones. Now I can't remember the name of it, but they have a red color up here. They're the evil weapons, more extremely powerful weapons, but still evil. But anyway, you're gonna take out. Obviously, you want to you already will have your character weapons out because they should be by your character cards now at this point. And then separate the cards by the color of, like I say, the color of this globe here. To white or common, green or uncommon, blue or rare, purple or epic, orange or legendary. So you're going to shuffle each one of those stacks, shuffle them all up, and then you will want to look at your inventory. There's a blacksmith inventory here, and you can see if you're playing on novice, you're going to have 16 common, 14 uncommon, on down the line. So you'll deal those out from each each deck, you will deal those out and place those where they're signified. They're common, uncommon. You can see that it tells you exactly where to put each of the deck of cards. So that is the blacksmith area. Next, you will place a token on the terror level spot, and again, that comes back to what difficulty level you decided to choose. If you're playing novice, then the village terror level is 1, all the way up to 9. So what you would do on the terror level is up here in the corner. So I'm playing novice. I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm playing on the easiest setting I can. Once I figure it out, I can probably raise it. So mine's on 1. So that's the terror level. Next, you're going to place a token on the raid difficulty level. And again, that is dependent on what you chose. That's all the way from 20 down to 4. And then you will go to the raid difficulty level. Oh, let me see here. Yeah, that's here. Can't quite see the very bottom of this. I may have to even still change some camera angles up. But mine's on 20. So what that means is you roll a d20. On a 20, the minion will change from a roaming minion to a raiding minion. So you place a token on that difficulty spot. Next, you're going to place a token on the guardian spawn. And by the same token, that depends on which difficulty level you chose. But you will place a token on the guardian spawn track, which is here. Again, mine is on 20. So, and each guardian phase, you'll roll a d20, and if it's 20, then the guardian spawns. If not, you move it down. And according to the rule book, if I remember correctly, and I'm still reading rules, but you'll move it down each time. Whether a guardian spawns or not, you're going to move it down. Of course, if you're playing on easy, on the novice difficulty level, once you spawn a guardian, there's only one. You're only going to have one. But if you're playing with multiple, where you can have multiple guardians, then whether you spawn one or not, by the rules, it's going to move down until another one spawned. It seems like, and of course, watching some of Roger's videos, but again, these were older videos, so the rules may have been modified since then. But he made a statement that if guardian spawned, then it stays there. So it's up to you. But the rules say, spawn or not, you're going to go ahead and move it down. So next, place a token on the minion population table, and again, that is going to depend on what you chose here. Novice is 3, so you go back to your, that's over here. That's the minion population. You've got a token on the 3 spot there. And the last step is you're going to determine the gold amount per player. Now, if you've played the Avalon Adventure board game, you don't do this step. Hopefully you brought some gold with you. I was pretty lucky in the gold. I came away with almost 3,000 gold, I think, but I only came away with one item. I had like 3 or 4 chances to grab maybe another item, but I failed those. So there's ways to three different ways to decide your starting gold. Each hero rolls a 1d3, which is that guy, and come in focus, and you get that many times 100 gold, or you can each hero just receives 100 gold, or heroes start with no gold. So those are three ways you can start. Like I say, if you come from the Avalon Adventure board game, then that is not the case. You come in, you don't do that step, and you come in with what gold you have. So I think that pretty much covers everything that's needed to set up scenario 1 into the depths. And that should hopefully will get you moving on to exploring this dungeon, having some fun. It's going to take me probably another day or two to figure all this out. Still reading rules. It is just so cool, though. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm so impressed with what Roger and the artist have done with this game. It's an impressive game. Takes up a lot of space. It's a big game, but it's got some interesting mechanics and just a lot of options, a lot of things to do. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you whenever the time is I do another one. Thanks for joining me. Take care.